Hey everybody. Today I'm going to talk about Habilis Bushtools. Their company has been getting a lot of hype lately, a lot of more hype in the survival bushcrafty world. They're getting more and more because the one at the top you see here, Dave Canterbury used in one episode of Dual Survival, maybe two. I know for sure he used it in the Road to Nowhere episode where they were in Maine. That's the one that opened the can of dog food with right there. But I want to talk to you about them as a whole company and the two knives I have from them. One of these knives I absolutely do not like at all, and the other knife I actually pretty like very well. But so let's talk about the knives I don't like. This might surprise everybody, but I do not like this knife at all. This knife, in my opinion, is terrible. And when I say terrible, I don't mean the durability or the construction. The construction and durability is phenomenal. It's very strong. It's a good 1095 steel. It's got G10 handles with very good stainless steel bolts. Bolt. What I can't think of the name right now, guys. Holding the scales on. It's got nickel lanyard tube. It looks like, and like I said, G10 scales. It's pretty good. I mean, it's good construction. Let me show you why I don't like this knife. This knife has too much crap on it. Let me tell you, one thing I really hate on this knife is this ferro notch thing. You don't need that crap, okay? I mean, it's a cool little idea. 95% of the ferro rods are too big to fit in here, so it just scrapes them with the corners. The idea is you put it in there and it fits perfectly and it scrapes it around the whole ferro rod almost. That never happens with 3/8 ferro rods. It fits about halfway in there, or especially with the half-inch huge ones, it scrapes the sides. As far as I'm concerned, you just square off the whole back edge of the knife, and it throws sparks like the Pathfinder series or the Blind Horse knives do very well. Another thing I don't like is this thing. It's like their idea is you want a focal point to baton. You don't need that crap. Who cares if there's a focal point to baton? The only time you can really use that is if you're in wood that's basically this big. I mean, you can hit the end of it, but if you're in wood that's down to here, you're not hitting that anyway. And then you're not hitting that anyway. And then you're just giving up this whole space. I don't like how that dips down like that. I don't like that at all. You don't need that. Just bring the tip all the way out to the end. Again, you could just square up for the ferro notch, square up the whole back. For this, you don't need that. Any knife, batons, the same, as long as you have a good steel and it has the blade all the way out to the end. Again, I don't mind good ideas or innovations and stuff like this. We always need to try to make knives better. But this is just overkill. I don't like that kind of stuff. I like very simple things, and I like good knives. I don't like a bunch of fluff. Fluff is not needed. You don't need all that stuff. I mean, does it work? Yeah, sure. Like I said, if you have a piece of wood, it comes to here. But if you get past that, and anybody who's batoned a lot knows that you get into a piece of 4-inch wood, you're going to be, the more you hit that tip, the more that knife tends to kick out. And by the end of the wood, you're down to here. You're smacking the tip, and as far as that tip slopes down, because of that notch, because of that cutout, you're not going to have much of a tip to be hitting. So I don't like it. Another thing I absolutely hate about this knife, the grind. They call this a pseudo Scandi grind. They basically say you have the cutting material ability of a Scandi grind with a secondary bevel for strength. Okay, let me touch on that for a second. Already you're against the 8-ball because you have a 3/16 inch blade with a Scandi grind. Just like I said with the Pathfinder 1 knife, you're already against the 8-ball because the Scandi grind is going to be a little off as far as the angle. It's going to be thicker. And then you got this secondary edge down here. Does it add strength? It does, absolutely, to a Scandi grind. But you're losing a lot of cutting. I don't like how it cuts. It doesn't bite in the wood very well at all. It literally bites to like right here, and then it stops. It does not bite all the way to the top at all. I've never had it do that. No matter how soft the wood I got, I can't get it to bite that far. And so it's not cut well. It batons. Like I said, if you can get past this, and all this stuff. Once you get into a piece of wood, it'll baton as good as any knife. I mean, it baton's fine. As far as I'm concerned, I just rather see a saber grinder, a full flatter, a full convex, or even just a regular Scandi. Anything but that, whatever this thing, whatever his idea, I don't understand why he wanted to do that. I mean, I guess I can understand him wanting to maybe make it stronger, but I just think that's kind of unnecessary. That's kind of dumb to me. I'm not trying to be completely terrible about this knife. Again, the construction's great on it, but I just think there's so much fluff going on. Okay, on to the handle. The handle's probably one of the most uncomfortable handles I've ever held. I've got pretty decent sized hands, but when you hold this knife, again, just like I said with the Pathfinder 1, right here, there's a little room between your finger and the handle when you're really squeezing so the blade can move. Again, I'm operating one-handed, but the blade can move around in your hand. This is too thin. I want it wider. Look how thin these handles are. That handle is very thin for a 3/16 blade. You know, as far as I'm concerned, spread those things out, give you something to hang on to. For a guy with a little smaller hands, this might work a little better, but it just doesn't work for me. And they tried to make the handle ergonomic by giving it this swell, but the swell's in such an awkward place. If you're holding it normal, the swell comes up right on your middle finger. So if you're holding it choked up, it gets a little better because you got two up here and two back, but it's still right between those two fingers. So I don't really like that very much at all. And two, this handle is not. It looks rounded, but it's not. It's got all these really sharp, not sharp, but rough edges on it. Like it's very bumpy. The G10's not finished very well. It's just got bumps and grooves all over it, and I really think this knife is just so much wasted potential as far as what it could be. Because if you take that off, bring the thing all the way to the tip, dip it down like that if you want to, as long as you give me the back right there. Take this crap off, just square the spine off. The bow drill divot's a good idea. I like that. I like this thing back here. You can use that as a pommel. I like that. And again, if you want to bet your life on the construction of this knife, I think you could do it all day long. But I just don't think the mechanics of it, I think it's going to give you a lot harder time. For $200, I would buy that knife. If it was 120, 130, 150 even, I can understand it. But this is supposed to be a custom made in the USA piece, and they're wanting to charge $200 for it. And I just, when I bought it, I got caught up in the hype. Dave used it. It's the best knife ever. He sells it on his website. In my opinion, it's not. I don't carry this knife. I don't like this knife. It's just how it is. One knife that I do like, and this is actually the only Habilis product I actually like, because all the other ones are pretty much the same deal. I like another one I think is decent looking is the Trapper. It's a very straightforward design. It's a little small for my taste, but it's very straightforward. I have held that knife in my hands, and it feels better than this one, but it's still got a little bit weird handle to it, in my opinion. This is the Pathfinder butcher knife that they designed with them. And I don't know if you can see this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to operate here. The handles are basically the same thickness. Maybe this one is a little thicker. But this is an 1/8 inch steel. This is 3/16, and the handles are almost the same. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This is about the only Habilis knife I really like. Again, the Trapper is okay. This has a Scandinavian grind. They did try to put a little bit of a pseudo Scandi on it, whatever they call that thing. I just worked it right out with a diamond stone because it was so fine on the end there. It's modeled after a 18th, 19th century frontiersman butcher knife, the one Dave carries. I love it. It's got an 1/8 inch thick. Again, once I got that crap off of it, it cuts great. Again, got great mechanical advantage over that 1/8 inch. I don't really like this choil here. I'd prefer them to bring it all the way to the end, but hey, if that's my only complaint, that's fine. It's got, excuse me, it's got 6, looks like brass, just little pin rivets in here. Holds it on fine. Got good hardwood scales. I don't know what kind it is. This is 1095. It throws sparks off the spine. It has a good sharp edge. You can, it's just an all-around good knife. Again, it's very simple, straightforward handle. Again, another complaint is it is a little thin here, but again, this is $150. I would rather have this than that all day, every day, twice on Sunday. This is just a good feeling knife. I like the uncoated look to it, and I like how and I like this knife. This is a knife I keep in the glove box of my truck, and this knife is plenty strong with an 1/8 of an inch thick to do whatever you need to do. Again, I'm not trying to beat on Habilis Bushtools, guys. If you like them, I know people that love these knives. Most of the instructors at the Pathfinder School absolutely love these knives. Jeremy Janey loves these knives. That's why he carried this one through the whole class the whole basic class when I was there, and it's a great knife. I do like this knife, but he loves the bush tool. You know, some people do. I just don't like it. After holding blind horses knives and other custom knives that are really nice, I just can't bring myself to like this. I can't. And again, he likes them better than blind horse. He's held just about every blind horse, and Jeremy James likes the Habilis knives. And he's a very respected survival instructor. So, you know, it's whatever floats your boat. I just don't want you to buy it and get caught up in the hype of what it is. I encourage you to find somebody that has it, or go to a blade show and hold it first and see. Because the knife does have in my hands, it feels bad. I don't like I don't like using it. This knife is an excellent knife, in my opinion. You can buy it off the Pathfinder website for $150. So it's whatever you think. Again, the knife for you is the knife for you. I'm just trying to give you my thoughts. In my opinion, Habilis Bushtools they don't do it for me. In any knives except this one, they just don't do it. There's no knives there that I really like. The Trapper is a second if I had to have a second one of their knives. But still, I just don't. It's not for me. So I hope this helps somebody. I'm sorry if I was a little forward with it. I just wanted to give you my thoughts. Comment if you have any questions for me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank everybody. Thanks to everybody, and God bless.